So welcome to another episode of Dees Talk. I'm here today with my dear friend from childhood, Christian McLaughlin, and we're here to share some of Christian's recent adventures, or not so recent as well, last 30 years plus. We've known each other 30 years, and I'm sure you've got a lot to share with us.
It's been a lifetime of fun.
Yeah, so far.
I remember,
plenty more to come.
I remember you talking about these kind of gazebo dreams of creating spaces where we can make music and talk, and the top floor at your dad's old place.
Yeah.
This is
that was all a dream. It's all manifested now.
It's kind of like a recycled reality. Like every 10
upgraded.
years we revisit the dream in a more professional way.
Yeah, I found some old journal, and I was talking about, like, it was a 23-year-old journal, and I was speaking about building a studio. And I was like, I need to build a studio and make some music and make some short videos. But podcasting wasn't really a thing then. But yeah.
How does it feel?
It feels good to be actually doing it. Actually doing it. Yeah.
I feel like music is missing though.
Yeah.
Music's a huge part of your life.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't made music or anything like that for years. So.
But emceeing at your wedding?
Yeah.
emceeing in general.
Comes out,
every time you get the chance. So I remember Dees and Cease.
Yeah.
Your brother would DJ, you would MC.
I'd rap, yeah.
That meant a lot.
I guess it feels a bit weird doing it in your 40s, but are you ever too old to MC?
Well, look at me, I'm dancing.
Yeah.
Like it's 1999.
Yeah, so tell me about your dancing journey, or where did it all start?
It started with you.
Really?
At house parties.
Right.
When the Prodigy would come on and you and Kalpa would start like, I don't even know, like Running Man kind of, but like your legs were like boom, boom, and your feet, and it was so cool. And I was like this kid that had never witnessed that before.
Really?
And I was like, I remember looking at both of your legs and being like, I wonder if I can do that. Swear to God, swear down. That was like how...
Running Man.
But it was more than Running Man. I wish we could, let's B-roll that.
Okay, let's B-roll some Running Man.
So like, and maybe like put on some Prodigy.
Okay.
And go back to that place 14 years old. Even earlier than that one, actually.
Okay.
What was that?
Early Prodigy. What, earlier than Firestarter?
Yeah.
Right.
It was music for the jilted generation.
Wow.
Remember the CD with the face coming out of it?
Yeah.
In the kind of green.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like track 4. Wow. And I remember specifically, it was like so sick. I don't know if it was track 4, we'll check.
Right, okay.
But it was like, wow. And all of our time from then onward was like my beginning of socializing as a man with men.
Right.
And socializing with women as well. That was
because you hadn't socialized really before then? Or how old was that, 13, 14?
Yeah, 14. Not really in my own creation of my identity. That was more like 12 and stuff. It didn't really feel like it was my creation of my identity. It felt like it was an extension of like my parents' house.
Sure, yeah.
But getting out of my parents' house started with basketball, with MB coming and knocking on my door and saying, do you want to come play basketball?
And then you started to venture out into the world.
Starting, Robbie and Kalpa, and people started to invite me to places to dance on a dance floor.
All right.
And that was like parties. That was the first place where I met anyone outside of like, and I was new in London, relatively new in London, so I didn't have any friends. New school, didn't have any friends.
Right.
Nick Asefsky was the only guy that came to like from my school to Westminster. So it was a whole new thing. Whole new world, and it helped me socialize.
Right.
It helped me learn how to be free, how to express love.
How to connect.
And then ecstasy and raving after our clubbing days.
Yeah.
Of like hip hop clubs and Arab culture and black culture and meeting other cultures.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Through the music, yeah.
All through the music.
Right. Learning
all through collective celebration as well, and the way that we would move, and Temmie and Leo and everyone, Angelo, Carla, everyone dancing.
Yeah, there's something so beautiful, I think, about like festival or club culture that is like humans in some ways at their best. Like everyone's just out for a good time. Obviously it can go wrong. People can get leery. People can get wild and violent and all the rest of it and out of control. But the general feeling of like moving towards celebratory, union amongst all of us, we're all just having fun together, we're all connecting.
Yeah.
It's the only time that really happens. Well, I guess other than church, maybe in like religions, they do that as well, in the collective.
And some religions sing and dance more than others.
Yeah,
and
that's a way to unify.
Yeah. in my experience.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of my dance journey. And as I was telling you earlier, last night, when my dad asked me when I was 19, when he was a bit worried about my direction, he said, "What do you want to do?"
Yeah.
And the only thing I could say was, "I want to dance." Oh. And, you know, luckily he didn't cuss me out. Like,
that's almost like, I can always imagine that as just before the drop on a tune. Like, "Hey son, what do you want to do in life?"
Oh my God.
"I just want to dance." I can imagine that.
Yeah, I'm going to ask my dad if he'll record. We'll do the remix.
What are you going to do with your life? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so luckily he's still around. I mean, R.I.P.
To my pops, yeah, man. Thanks, man. Yeah. And then it evolved into now. And then recently you were like, "I'm gonna take this not seriously, but I'm gonna like
definitely
not seriously, but I'm gonna throw myself into it."
It's a really big question. Yeah, like facilitating, like being on the other side. I mean, let's just call it hosting a house party.
Right.
I started to make peace with the spirituality aspect of like what I'm engaging in. 5 Rhythms, it's a spiritual practice, shamanic energy medicine, spiritual practice.
So you came from the spiritual practice side to it, or was it both?
I was talking to my brothers the other day and I was like, I'm not sure I really feel comfortable branding my expression as spirituality, because yes, it is. There's no doubt about it. It's about personal development. It's about knowing yourself, loving yourself, coming to self-love, being able to express what you love, then being able to actualize the going of getting it, being able to meet obstacles and, you know, take steps back, take steps forwards, overcome obstacles, you know, let go into the aftermath of that, into the reality of what life wants for you as well as what you want from life. And then, you know, going into a death cycle and then starting again. You know, like
death cycle
all projects.
Via the dance?
It's funny, I was speaking all of that. That's actually like the progress of the 5 Rhythms. That is the progress of the 5 Rhythms.
Right.
Those are the stages of the wave of music that you go through, but it's, you know, all the
philosophy. So 5 Rhythms is like it's like started by someone and now it's like a whole program of... Do you want to give a bit of background on it, or? Yeah.
I mean, I'll continue with that analogy, like the death process and you start again. Like that is the 5 Rhythms, which is a metaphor for life. It's a metaphor of self-actualization.
Yeah.
Confronting, you know, things not necessarily going your way, releasing into what is, and then chilling, stillness, start again. So it is a...
So via movement.
Via movement, exactly.
So each of those cycles.
The music will mirror that. You know, you'll start on the floor, just
really chill music.
Yeah, you just like get into your body, get into your zone, get into yourself, you know, like let go. Let go of your, often they'll say, you hear on the mic, like let go of your jaw, let go of your neck.
So you have someone like guiding the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's someone, but very little words.
Just little.
What I really love about it is you're very left with the music. And then this is like typically a 2-hour class.
Okay.
8 till 10 on a Thursday was the one I always went to in London. A guy called Jason, beautiful space, St. Luke's Church, underfloor heating. It was like orgasmic in the winter. It's freezing and you just walk in and lie on the ground after a big cycle and it's like warm wood in a massive church with like beautiful stained glass everywhere and an insanely kind, conscious, delicate, strong facilitator. He's such an amazing man and I still know him now. And walking into the room today, I was telling someone in the first share in the morning, you get paired up with people sometimes share why you're here, what's up. I was like, the first time I was here was 15 years ago. And I've had major moments of my life on this wood, you know, major confrontations with myself, like, you know,
in that exact place.
In that exact place. And I'm back now, you know, it's been a few years and he's still there.
So he's been doing it all these years?
All those years.
Wow, how many hours has he put in?
And then I see old faces and then other faces from the community. So I'm also really starting to understand, and I understood it when I was young as well, when I went into a 5 Rhythm space as opposed to going to an ecstatic dance or the club or wherever or festivals. Festivals can obviously engender that too, a genuine feeling of community that you feel you can grow old into. But some practices are more sustainable than others. And this space is very safe, very like intergenerational. Like you'll see people 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, rarely teenagers, but can happen. There was a child on the dance floor today all day, about one and a half, running around,
nice.
hearing those little beautiful sounds of childhood everywhere.
Right.
So it felt like,
because it's all sober, right? Nobody's drinking. It's just all about.
No, you've got to be really on it.
Right.
You've got to be really on it because you're taking responsibility for yourself, first of all, and then you're taking responsibility if you're interacting with anyone else. And people do interact with each other. Sometimes you're asked to pair up. You know, so follow. Today it was because we're doing a heartbeat map. There's different maps, which are different kind of journeys, 5-day journeys based on different thematics that were all made by Gabrielle Roth. She kind of laid down like formats of journeys that helped her with her personal development, and she saw it help other people, and so it crystallized it into maps. This map on the first day, you go through 5 days of 5 different emotions. The first day is fear. So today, you know, you were like paired up with someone. It's like, you know, move like as if you're shy, and then move as if you're suspicious.
So you in dance.
Yeah. So you kind of explore. You get to physically explore and feel. It's like a laboratory. You get to feel what you're feeling, and feeling what you're feeling is actually the key to what I learned through. I try to put the pieces together of all the puzzle of like all the different lineages that I'm kind of experiencing in the shamanic energy medicine. For example, the feeling what you feel is the key to healing, which is an interesting thing that kind of dawned on me as I was trying to explain it to Olivia. I was trying to explain it, like, what is the essence of this aspect of healing? And it is to just feel the feeling. This is particularly with trauma now. This is particularly with aspects that are uncovered, that are not yet seen, and you're in the process of uncovering them. Right. But they're held in your body. Yes, similar to Vipassana, which is another angle that I could see. All these lineages that I've experienced are kind of going, at least in one aspect of this, are going to the same thing, which is feeling the feeling. So in Vipassana, you'll be like a week in silence, meditating, letting the body, the parasympathetic system come online, letting the healing system come online, and you'll observe like, oh yeah, it's mad tension there. And you have enough space and time for the body to process it, like an unknotting of something that's like stuck or twisted up. And in the shamanic energy medicine, Alberto's Villoldo's lineage, you'll be asked to breathe and send the energy that you're feeling, to bring a feeling of discomfort, and then breathe it into a stone that you've placed on yourself on a chakra. So you basically select a chakra from which you're going to release the energy. But you first have some kind of pain somewhere, or like a tightness? Well, I would say I have pain everywhere. Well, inside your body, just by tuning into your body and being like like body scanning almost, and being like, there's a bit of pain there, there, and then you try to. Well, this is the disperse thing. The pain. Different lineages have different approaches, so I'm kind of like looking back at these different things that I've done and being like, what's the common denominator here? And feeling the feeling is often is a very big one that I'm kind of. Which is it's something that a lot of people don't do, like tune into their own body, even to be like. Ask, unless there's like extreme pain or something. Exactly. And then then it's probably too late. Exactly, because it becomes illness. It becomes like chronic, or it becomes something that is like controlling you, rather than like, oh, I'm aware that I accumulate tension here. I see it every time I go to Dance 5 Rhythms. There's some tension in this area of my jaw. I can inquire, what is that? Or I can send it, ask Mother Earth to take it. I can send it out, or I can be with it until it undoes itself. And I'm just kind of seeing that these different lineages have different ways of just trying to acknowledge what's going on inside. Like right now, I feel a little bit of tension right here, for example. In the forehead, just. And I could dance it out. I could go for a little spin right now and lose it out, or I could just sit with it and let it sort itself out, or I could intentionally try and draw it towards an area of exit. And how do you do that? That's with just say, for example, in shamanic energy healing, Alberto's school, I would muscle test you, and I would find out which is the most affected area of your body in terms of your energy centers. Like, I think it's where your nervous system meets your endocrine system is the actual description of a chakra in science. Like, so there's, you know, your different, where they overlap in different spots.
Right.
And that is typically where you feel, where you can sense like the strongest blockage, because it's the energy center. So I'd muscle test you, and then it'd be like, oh, okay, this is the energy center that is, for example,
so what's a muscle test there?
Muscle test is like, say like, okay, put your arm out straight for me.
Okay.
And resist my hand. Okay, show me your strength. Perfect. Okay. Wow, you're very strong. Okay, here goes that gym upstairs. Okay, let's try again. Maybe like so I can gauge it.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Think of something that you still find unpleasant or you're struggling with in your life.
Okay. Oh, and I push again? Or?
Okay. Yeah. You're resisting my push. Okay, that's a little bit weaker, right?
Yeah.
Let's try a different chakra. So you don't have to move. I'm just kind of tuning into your different chakras. Oh, you see, that's pretty solid. Okay, and again, that same feeling. Oh, you see that? Yes, that's your heart chakra. Yes, so you got here. I didn't actually check your base chakra. I checked your second chakra, your third chakra, fourth chakra. Go back into the base as well. Oh, you see you're pretty solid. Check your throat. Solid. Check your third eye. A little bit, huh?
What?
In your crown. Tiny bit as well. So typically what you do in Alberto's medicine is you start with the lowest affected chakra.
Yeah.
So in this practice you have things called kuyas, which are basically, it's Quechua and it just means stone.
Okay.
And a stone in their practice, in their lineage, is something that is, or in Alberto's sort of bringing together of his different lineages and the way that he teaches it, it's just a focal point. I try and take these things as metaphors or as like, tools. I don't necessarily assign like a specific, like it could be a stone, but maybe, I don't want to disrespect the lineage, but maybe it could be something else as well. It could just be like your hand. It could be something. It's just a way, for me anyway, in my interpretation of it, it's a way of assigning a point that you correlate with release. So the intention is to release.
To let go.
So that little nugget of, it's actually gone now, but there's a little nugget of tension.
Yeah.
Or let's say in your case, it's there, like you would use that as the release point for the difficult emotion that you're feeling. Typically in a session, we would have already discussed on the way in what it is that's going on in your life. Let's just
what you're struggling with, what's a challenge at the moment.
Exactly. So I would already know that. We would then assign a place, which is the place of release. You would then, lie back. I would take, a couple of points here, which release, naturally release tension. And I would hold you, and you can even do this online, which is so crazy. You can do it through the
online
field. Yeah. You can actually do this without even doing it physically.
What if I'm on a Zoom call with you? Yeah. You can help me to release.
Yeah, it's mental.
Through the ether somehow.
Yes, I know. It's just too much for the thinking mind.
Right.
But it happens all the time, and I actually haven't done an online session, but I've seen so many
other people affected. What, by someone else facilitating them to release something?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So I think it is an experience that happens with yourself, but it can be facilitated by someone else. So I would be holding your releasing points, they call it in this lineage, and you would then breathe the energy of discomfort that you're feeling, whatever it is in your body, to that release point, and I would be kind of helping you guide that energy to the earth and letting the earth take it. And that process and that ritual, however you interpret it, as a literal, like there is an energetic field that my body has, there is a blockage or an injury, or there's some kind of marking in it, imprint in the field, whether it's from myself or something from exterior, like we were talking about, entities or other forces, other energies. that are stuck within the field, then you would be like, okay, I'm going to intentionally guide it with the breath out of this point. I would be there helping you guide, like boom, 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 let's move it out. That intentionality, whether it's placebo or whether it's actually there's something going on that's beyond what we see and at least in this moment, I don't see your energy field.
Right.
Probably say that I sense it because through meditation, actually, I have sat next to people, and after about a week of silence, I have started to feel way more, and I could feel like the pulsation of someone else's body next to me.
Really, like the subtle energies became more attuned to, right?
Yeah, and I don't.
When you sit in silence for a week, so that's
when you start to really open up your sensory field. And I don't like to say anything that I haven't experienced. Like I can't tell you anything other than like what I've felt. But I do try and struggle and try. I try and find like common points between all these modalities that lead to some kind of greater truth of like why these processes have value and why they're successful, why they change people's lives, why they've changed my life.
Yeah, I think it kind of reminds me of quite a lot of various practices or therapies, things like shaking, like people do, like, or like tapping. Yeah. That it's all to do with kind of releasing that, like something blocked. And just last week we did a podcast with Jay Kamal, and he was all about fascia, and he was all about saying that a lot of energy or emotions get held in that, and then his was all about almost like pressing, like getting you to tighten up and then pressing to release. So the same concept of like a blockage and how do you release it, right? So either through like shaking, tapping, dancing, fascia, massage, or just like self-meditation, like where you can do body scans and then you just like realize, oh, I'm holding tension in my scalp, in my neck, in my jaw, in my tongue, and then just consciously sensing it's tight, release, and then letting your body go into a more relaxed state. But that's kind of releasing tension. But the extreme example of that is like something that's blocked as an energy or as a, which can then, if left there and you just go through your life, can turn into something bad, illness or whatever.
Yeah, so, and then you just, in my opinion, the wisest thing to do with healing practices is figure out what you actually enjoy the most. Because if we're talking about release, you can go for a cycle, you can go for a swim.
Yeah, go hit some punch bag.
You can go hit some punch bag. Like there's
football.
So many.
Everyone has different versions.
You could have conscious eating. You could have conscious flower head, bead making. Right. You could do anything. Yeah. Really, if it just has it's just some simple steps of like acknowledging what's going on inside, addressing it, not leaving it unaddressed, being with it, being with the discomfort is something that comes up all over in every single practice. And some practices are more acute. Like the shamanic energy medicine, I was like screaming. Like it is myself personally.
What's involved with that?
Just for me, like going right to the point, of pain stored in the body. It's pain.
So you do it on yourself?
Well, no, I was being held by someone, and they were saying breathe, and saying feel the bring up the feeling that it is that you that needs to move. It's
and then
crazy.
And then stuff came up that you didn't know, by you just sort of commanding yourself to let whatever needs to come up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you start to feel excruciating pain somewhere.
Yes.
And then you sat with it for a bit, and then it sort of dissipated eventually, or like released, or you put it into the earth, or you directed it out, or...
It's pretty heavy. It was pretty heavy, to be honest with you.
Yeah?
Yeah, actually. Felt like I was wrestling a demon.
No way.
A little bit. And it was like, God, is this my creation? Is this my projection? What is this? Like, what is this energy? But like, it was just dark. Almost like demonic energy, like your tongue, like, and like, these noises. And I was like, God,
Were you expecting that?
No, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you.
You're like,
no, it was pretty full on. So I'm a little bit shaken by it. It's like, I don't usually talk about it so, openly. But like, if you're asking, it was, Yeah, it was pretty full on. Luckily, I've had some really intense experiences with meditation.
Right.
Like,
Stuff coming out.
yeah, I've like even had like, as I was telling you last night, like a being outside of my body speak to me in very sort of dark voice with very like menacing terms, threatening to kill Olivia, you know, like all this sort of stuff. You know, and what I perceived, this is after like a week of silent meditation on my own side of a mountain in a little hut where it's facilitated, you know, food is brought to you, but you just really...
Were you scared when you heard that voice?
No, luckily I wasn't, because the first...
Or were you alone when that was happening? This is after a week of like meditating
alone,
silently.
Dark, in the middle of the night on a cold mountain, 2,000 meters up. Like, yeah, it was, you know, technically it was scary, but it wasn't. Because the voice, the first thing that it said was, you're not worthy.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I know this is a fraud.
Hey,
So I was
I'm
like,
worthy.
You showed me your cards too soon, whoever you are. Like whatever you're showing me, like whatever aspect of myself I'm seeing or whatever this is, it's not real. It's something that's here to provoke me, to scare me, to make me feel insecure. It's probably a representation of my insecurities, just externalized. I was sort of being guided by my intuition, by my internal voice.
That
and this,
almost that a part of you still
process.
thinks that. And that little bit that was like deep down came out after a week
probably,
of silence.
You know, these things, I don't know how to explain them, but I can relate it as truth, as in it's what I experienced.
And then how did you react to it, to the voice?
I just kind of was like, I smiled because I was like, thank God this isn't as terrifying as it sounds, because it was in a really dark voice. It was in like a
Really?
proper horror show kind of thing, and over my shoulder behind me in a dark room. And I was like, okay. You know, and we went on our own little journey.
Did like hairs stand up and all that, or was it a bit?
No.
So you weren't
luckily
scared?
I didn't take it seriously. No, I didn't. I was like, okay, interesting, curious.
Yeah.
But these kind of experience, and also in meditation and experience, on one of my first ever retreats, I just produced a feature film. I was very stressed out. I spent a lot of time on the mobile phone. Been a long process. And I had this like very tight knot in my chest. And when I was meditating, I felt the pain, and it felt like a gunshot. I was like, oh my God, this is so painful. It feels like I've been shot in the chest. But I was like, because the teacher was so good, he had kind of put me in a state where I knew that anything that was happening to my body, I was safe, because my body was choosing to feel it. You know, I'm in control of this process. I can always stop it. It's a bit like a bad dream. Like I can always kind of open my eyes if you're on that edge of being able to open your eyes. But it was I could just stop and get up and walk away. I thought this is an opportunity to feel the feeling and to be with the pain, and then to watch as my self-healing system unknotted. And the most painful bit was like the last bit of it unknotting. And I was literally saying to myself, like, I can't remember, it was a long time ago. I was saying something like, I trust you, I love you, I trust you, I love you. Like, I know you're not going to hurt me. I know this is for my best. And like, it was just unknotting. And then after the experience, half of my face went a bit like saggy and numb.
Oh my God.
My arm and my leg, all on the left side.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I've released a minor stroke. Like, this is what, like you say, the unaddressed injury. Yeah. This is what would have killed me.
Oh my God.
Maybe when I'm 60, maybe when I'm 50.
So it was just waiting to happen, and then
it was heavy accumulated tension around the heart. And it took 4 days in silence, and I was just patient. I didn't know it was coming, and it was extraordinarily painful.
And how long did it last?
About half an hour, like at least.
And you were just like,
Well, I was trying not to wince. I was just trying just to be like, let it happen, let it release. Yeah. And it just went, and you know.
And after it came out, was it like, but then you said your face melted.
Yeah, I had like a bit of a face melted situation.
And then how long did that last?
Maybe half a day. And the guy spotted me, my teacher at Bergs at the time. He saw like, and he just said, listen, you need to ground, get out in the garden.
Right. Just pause. Everything okay? Yeah? Okay. Wow. And then, because that almost sounds like Bell's palsy as well. Some people get that when they're very stressed. I know a couple of my friends, when they've been through particularly stressful times, or like very intense, like, my business partner in Brazil had it when he was like, we had like, I think like 7 flights in 8 days, different business meetings all over Brazil. And then by the end, we were like just in our final meeting, and then we suddenly noticed his face had like gone down a bit. But it was Bell's palsy, which does a bit of that kind of
Did it do it to his arm and leg as well?
No, his was more his face. But yeah, arm and leg, that's probably more like,
definitely
minor stroke. Because they can do a test to see if you've had a stroke as well.
Oh,
yeah.
That could be interesting.
That's what, But yeah, it could be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I feel like it was definitely a minor stroke.
Right.
But, you know, self-released in a safe environment, and, you know,
so
those experiences of like being in either an extraordinary situation with an energy that was outside of myself but was somehow a part of myself, the experience of being with an extreme pain release gave me the confidence that when I was at Alberto's school with the shamanic energy medicine and feeling very strong feelings, feeling presences of things that I'm not fully convinced are a part of maybe me, but are a part of my field. However, you know, I'm trying to integrate these experiences, gave me the confidence to be like, it's all good. It's all good. Whatever needs to express itself here, I'm going to give it the space to express itself. And I met whole new emotions that I'd never met in my life, that I'd never dared to meet, not even at the meditation, not anywhere, not any of those things, because I didn't consciously name it and inquire as to what it was and then really allow it out. Rage, terror, panic. Those were 3 big ones that like I hadn't, you know, I obviously explored anger, obviously explored grief, but I'd never really like felt rage. I'd never really consciously, obviously I've expressed rage in life plenty of times, and it's embarrassing, like, oh my God, like how did that happen? It got out of control. Terror as well, feel it unconsciously a lot. Now that I'm tuned into the fact that I have terror in my body and that it's like a common emotion inside of me, now I can kind of consciously release it more often. I have a relationship with my terror. And the same thing with panic. And panic would often, for me, lead to anger because I didn't know how I was feeling and what. And I, you know, so I could sort of see underneath anger, which is the thing that presents itself most easily for me as an emotion. There were other deeper
anger
things.
is masking those other ones as like a defense mechanism.
And grief, yeah.
And grief, right. Yeah. So you think terror
was new for me to meet that. It was like, oh, wow.
Extreme fear.
Yeah, extreme fear. And so those I got...
Related to something or?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's tricky with stories, you know, because there's also ancestral stuff.
Yeah.
You know, what I was taught and what I'm learning also.
What you've inherited in your DNA from what they've gone through. Or,
there's stuff that, you know, and past lives as well is another possibility of how things relate to this experience. I don't know. But what I do know is that my mom went through panic attacks. You know, this is very personal. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing. I feel like I can. But, you know, she went through panic attacks when my dad was trying to kidnap me. So it was a tough time when I was around 3, 4, 5. So we left Mexico and we were in Canada and he was flying over and, you know, my mom would have panic attacks in the street is what I've heard.
Really?
And so
Do you remember any of them or no?
Not consciously, but I do have memories from that time. And I do know that all this stuff, you know, through mom, you know, it stores in the body of the child. It's very common for those things to be unresolved, especially in non-verbal times, for them to find resolution later in life is a hopeful thing for me. I can't tell you for sure, you know, that's what I'm experiencing because it could be many different things. It could be a projection of mine. It could be like a comfort story of this happened in my child. Now I feel this. I could just be terrified by growing up. I could just be terrified of being a dad. I could just be terrified of taking responsibility. You know, and let's just call it and. But in modern psychology, and at least in the culture that I've grown up in, there is a correlation between, you know, what happened in your formative years as a child, what happened in puberty, what happened in your early adulthood, where I am today, all of those things, if there was like, say, a car crash or a small injury, let's just say I sprained my ankle, if I don't do rehab on that, you know, I may not be the footballer, you know, I may be prone to injury again, or it may actually block me from being able to play anymore. Similarly with emotions, if I've had a heavy impact at any point, it may stop me from playing certain games. It may make me not able, like it may just cripple my ability to engage fully in life.
Sure.
To not be afraid of love, to receive love, to give love, to trust, to take risk.
And you might not even be conscious of these things.
To put boundaries.
Right.
Yeah, all of those things are the kinds of things that I want to bring to consciousness.
You want to bring it to the surface, almost bring it all out. I mean, there's one interesting study that I always think of, that when people say, oh, do you inherit your traumas of your parents? I mean, it's been scientifically proven that you do, because they did this test, a bit of a cruel test, but they took mice and they gave them the smell of cherry blossom, and every time they did, they would give them an electric shock. And they did this over and over until the point that they could just give them the cherry blossom smell, and then the mice would be like freaking out, like waiting for the shock. Then those mice had kids. Then the kids, without ever being subjected to electric shocks, if they smelt the cherry blossom, they would freak out. So just that one experiment proves that it's like, it is passed on. Like, you know, even if that doesn't make sense, cherry blossom, electric shock, but it gets attached and then it's like in the system. So if you just expand on that, anything that happened to your dad, granddad, great granddad could, you know, is like affecting how you feel about things.
That's a big part of the work that we did at Alberto's center, and also with Garen Jones, who's like a wonderful coach, healer, shaman. He doesn't call himself anything. He calls himself a friend, which I love about him. He's just, I'm just a friend.
Right.
You know, I'm out here doing the best for myself and sharing, you know, sharing my notes. And when I went on a retreat with him in Costa Rica, we did a lot of ancestral work as well, just working through the lineage, healing the traumas.
How does one even do that?
Yeah, it's a real leap of faith. You have to, I know you don't have to do anything, but in my experience, it was like,
through meditation, through a meditative.
Well, I'm going to start with a specific example of me being with my dad, who, you know, and I feel okay to share, committed suicide when I was 8 years old.
Right.
They'd been separated since I was 4, but it was such a sort of murky death that was covered up from me as well. I was told it was
to protect you.
To protect me, exactly. Yeah. And, you know, so eventually I figured it out on my own. It's reading a DHL document about the Christian McLaughlin case, and there was all this stuff about, you know, a will and my dad and suicide, and it was being challenged.
What had you been told?
He had a heart attack. This was 14, just before going out partying, and, you know, and Henry spotted me on the dance floor, like leave, a bit disgruntled, and he came out with me and spilling a zoot, and we started talking, and he was like, you know, I was like really visibly shaken. And he was like, what's up, dude? And I was like, you know, I'm in love with Georgia, and I don't know how. And he looked at me, he's like, no, you're not, bro. I know you too well. Like, it's got nothing to do with a woman. Like, he's like, what's going on? And I was like, oh my God, who is this like 14-year-old young man, friend of mine, seeing me like this? And
I know, he sees through my lies.
I know, I couldn't believe it. No one's ever challenged me like that before. And I was like, well, okay, you know, I just found out all this stuff. And Henry starts crying. Literally on the spot, starts crying. I was like, oh my God. And then I started crying because I was like, it gave me permission to feel the emotion. And we cried together, and it was beautiful. And we just bunned it out and went back downstairs and had a great night. You know, it was kind of the beginning of a long journey with that, and forgiving my mom as well for not telling me at the time, even though, of course, it's totally understandable. Yeah,
because 8 is like the age of my daughter now.
Yeah.
It's like,
would you...
Yeah.
Well, maybe let's talk about it. No, God forbid, let's not even go there.
No, but I'm just saying, I can imagine that a parent's attitude would be to like try to protect them and hide that from them, because it's such a lot to process.
It wasn't a great experience for me.
Really? So you would have rather known at 8?
I don't know, you know, because what would I know?
I guess it's like, it's not the messenger, it's the message that it was going to hurt when it hit anyway.
I don't know, because there's certainly anger from not knowing. It was unconscious. It was at Andreas's funeral. Remember Ambi's little brother?
Right.
It was at his funeral that his stepmom cornered me in the kitchen at the Muse house where he used to live. And she saw me get off the phone with my mom. And I just kind of like, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, mom. And kind of like, yeah, bye. She just saw the energy with which I ended the conversation, or maybe it was in the conversation. I don't know how long she'd been watching me. But she was like, after the conversation, she just looked at me with this real like dagger. Concern, yeah. And she was like, you need to forgive your mother. I was like, what, 22, 3 by then? Yeah. Maybe something like that, 20, yeah, at least in my early 20s. Yeah. And I was like, what's this? What are you talking about? Like, who are you? What are you talking about? I'm at a funeral. My friend's like, what's going on? I thought maybe she was drunk or something. She was a bit like woozy. Maybe she was a bit drunk, but she just started saying, you need to forgive your mother. You need to forgive your mother. It's quite heavy. You need to forgive your mother. And she went about 14 times, like 15 times, again and again and again and again and again. You must have been like, what the fuck? It's like a relative stranger at a funeral. What the fuck? Literally. Friend's funeral.
Does she know your life or anything?
Not really, no. Like she barely knows my mom. It was very brave of her, and I was humble enough on some level to question.
Maybe this woman knows something.
No, actually, just to ask the question, am I angry at my mother?
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I am angry at my mother. I was like, look at my energy. I was still holding the phone. I was like, God, I am. Yeah. And I was like, well, there's no good reason to be angry. I love my mom. Yeah. We have a great relationship. Yeah. But we didn't, because I had this unconscious anger. And I was like, well, why is that? And I was like, well, because my mom never told me anything. So I was holding this resentment unconsciously about
your dad,
everything to do with my dad. And I'm sure I was projecting probably some of the anger of like not having a dad onto that as well. And there's all kinds of messy murkiness around it. Who knows? But either way, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I would love to talk. Let's go on holiday together. Yeah. And we just met in France, this amazing trip, like cycling through the sunflower fields and drinking wine at the wineries and chatting and nights together in bed at hotels, like just being vulnerable and being like, can you tell me more about my dad? You told me about this. Why didn't you tell me? And then she told me, even when I was young, there's this Dr. Dobson was like a child psychologist at the time, like famous books and stuff. And then one of the things was, if the child doesn't ask, don't say anything. If the child doesn't ask, don't tell.
That was the advice.
That was the advice.
Then she then followed.
Yes. The child doesn't ask, don't tell.
And had you not asked?
Of course not. No.
Because you were just told.
Well, I wasn't told either. This is not only around the death, it was prior to it as well, this sort of separation, which for me was very kind of mysterious. Yeah,
because you were just a kid at that point.
I was just back in Canada all of a sudden from Mexico. My first memories are in Canada, so I didn't remember Mexico, but
so you don't remember your dad?
No.
Not one memory?
No.
So that was, the last time you saw him was when you were 4 or 5?
3 maybe.
Yeah, 3 is like pre long-term memory storage.
Yeah.
Kind of, wow.
But I have a relationship with him now through channeling him at Alberto's place.
No way.
And you can imagine how scared I was, because I was like, oh my God, this guy, I often think maybe he killed himself because he couldn't get to me, because that's kind of the story around it, that he was asking where I was. He wasn't allowed to know my whereabouts because
he split with your mom and then was pursuing your mom and you. Yes. And your mom was like running.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, got a new man, my dad to this day. Yeah. Alberto moved to Switzerland and then, began a new life over there. And so it was the second time I went to Alberto. The first time I didn't have the guts to do it. I channeled my stepfather's father, my stepfather's brother, and my grandmother, who had recently passed, my mother's mother.
That was your first time doing that?
It was my first time doing it. You do 3 people and you kind of, again, it's with a stone. All this stuff is just really simple. You just pick up a stone, walk across the threshold, allow the energy to come in and allow the voice to speak. And I've heard 3 very distinct voices, from my stepfather's father, stepfather's brother, and my grandmother. Totally different voices, totally different people. Rather things to say that weren't always predictable. I was quite shocked. So I was like, okay, if this is me just acting, just projecting
to yourself, then as a voice in your own head,
then I'm a really good actor. Then I'm like, you might as well give me an Oscar.
Sick,
just give me the BAFTA.
Grandma voice is is off the charts.
Yeah, grandma. Yeah, and the complexity of the dialogues was like, okay, wow. Second time
still pretty
round,
open to what it could all be about.
I mean, in my own experience, I'm pretty confident, but as a person speaking maybe to you, I don't even consider this public, I consider speaking to my friend.
Yeah.
I never want to condition reality. I never want to say like my reality is your reality or my reality is reality.
Sure.
And I know that's wishy-washy, but it's not. I think it's just my way of respecting the diversity of experience as a human being, as a species, as a cultural being, full of my cultural projections, full of my whatever.
Programmed,
exactly.
everything,
But, you know, there are a lot of people that have this experience, you know. There are, like you say, experiments that can be done. I'm not here to, like, defend my point. I don't have to prove anything.
It. You're just sharing what your experience is.
I'm just sharing my experience and being like, whoa. And so
do you think anybody, if they sort of knew about these practices, could also channel?
Yes, because I'm a random. I don't see myself as a channel or as a medium or as a spiritual person. Like, yes, I am all of those things, but like, I don't see myself as that. I just see myself as someone trying to figure out how to be the best person.
It's almost like we're all iPhones, and we can all install the channeling app if we tune into it, but most people never do.
From my experience of everyone being there, it was like 30 people and I went twice, so let's call it 60 people. Every single person did it, regardless of their race, creed, religion,
so
gender.
No one went, I'm getting nothing. Nobody.
Actually, no. Maybe some people did at some point, but through the experience,
they eventually had a connection.
Everyone that I saw anyway, maybe there were some people that didn't communicate it, but everyone that I saw had experiences way beyond what they thought were normal or what they were capable of.
Right.
Also in terms of the healing, because we're all practicing on each other. It's like a training. So we're all practicing on each other. And then by the end of it, some of people's transformations were extraordinary, including my own. That's why I went back. And to make, maybe not to make a long story short, but to go back to the point of channeling my dad, how scared I was. The first time around I didn't do it. I was like, I don't know. Like, I never played with Ouija boards when I was a kid.
Sure, yeah.
Because I was too conscious of my dad being in the field. I was like, I don't want to like talk to my dad. That's just too fucking scary. I don't want him to show up. He's kind of the boogeyman, like, in my life, because he was the scary man.
Yeah.
So I'm like terrified. To be honest, that's terror. There we go.
That was a terror.
There we go.
Right.
I'm terrified.
Of contacting him?
Yes.
Right.
Luckily, that's changed, because second time round I went and I was like, I don't even know that many dead people in my family. And I also need to, don't need to, but maybe having built up some confidence with the experience, I don't know. Yeah. Either way, I was like, I'm just going to go for it.
Right.
And he said beautiful things about me.
So you can call on a specific person, right?
100%, yeah.
Right.
You just cross the threshold and you let it speak through you.
So when you say speak through you, are you verbalizing?
To someone else.
To someone else?
To a witness, yeah.
Right.
And they were like writing
Did you remember
it? Yeah, but your witness also writes things down to help you in case because there's a lot of information.
Some people do channel and they blank out while they're channeling and they don't have any memory of it. So you were a bit present.
I was, and I was really touched and I felt his presence, and I don't know if I felt his presence. I definitely heard a different voice and said things that were completely unexpected to me, which were really kind things about me.
Which came out of your mouth. You were telling someone else about yourself.
I was telling someone else, my dad's voice was telling somebody else what they thought about me or what they needed to tell me.
Sure.
And it was all like, really lovely stuff. Like, I love you, and you're wonderful. Like, just like really lovely dad talk to a son.
Which you weren't expecting.
Not at all. Not at all. I thought, like, here we go. Either way, in 5 rhythms, there's an exercise in one of the maps, which is called cycles, which is about the life cycles. Like we were saying, childhood, puberty, early adulthood, maturity, death. There was an exercise which I found just absolutely exquisite, which was dancing with death. You make a pair, like me and you, and let's say you're death, and we begin to dance together, and they just start playing a tune, and you're like, oh my God, like,
I'm coming to kill you.
Yeah, you are, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what.
All of us.
It's a guarantee.
Yeah.
So I had to face that in my partner. I
scary.
was like, oh shit, like, you're definitely gonna win.
Yeah.
How am I, but we're in a game. So how am I gonna, and I was terrified at the beginning. I was like, hiding behind trees in the dance floor. I was like, no, please, no, like, I don't want to die. Like, I actually don't want to die right now. Like, I don't want to, like, please. And I could see the panic, the despair, the negotiation, and it was terrible. I was having a shit time in the corner of a room, like behind a tree. I was like, no, Christian, like, no, you're gonna die anyway. Yeah. Like, let's go meet death. Yeah. So I came and like, met death, we're dancing together, and then it became fun. I was like, wait, I want to live life like I'm dancing with death. I want to live life like I'm conscious of the fact I'm gonna die. I want to live life
in awareness of death.
Yeah, with death. Yeah. You know, like, I'm conscious of how lucky I am that I'm here to even dance with death. Like, death hasn't got me yet. Its grip isn't around me. And at one point, I was dancing with this person, amazing friend called Feline, and I'm lying on my back. We've got in some kind of situation where we've been like wrestling, and I'm like, excuse the cameras, I don't know if it would catch this, but I'm like this, and I'm looking up, and I can see, I'm looking into her eyes, and she's, and I kind of lost track of like exactly what was going on. By now I was almost in a dance. I was sort of, you know, like for a split second she wasn't death, she was just like my friend, and I was dancing and I was having fun. And from nowhere, without me realizing, just boom, she came and closed my eyes like that. Death got me.
Oh.
And I realized, I was like, no, I got done. I'm done. I'm dead. She literally closed my lids. And that was the final curtain. And I realized, like, oh wow, death could also be sweet. Oh. That was a very sweet end. I didn't even see it coming. It was delightful. I was in a wonderful moment of having fun, and pop. And I was gone. So that was just the type of nonsense slash amazing slash life-changing slash game slash silliness slash I'll never be the same again-ness of Five Rhythms, of like just being in a context with these kind of metaphorical games
that help you to process
everything.
Your ideas about life and
everything,
you know, your traumas and your relationships, and you kind of turn it into like an acted dance movement thing, and through that you get insights, and
that's my idea of fun. So that's why I love
play.
It. It's so much fun. It's just like whoa, and I'm learning. Whoa, and I'm feeling. Whoa, and I'm processing. Whoa, and I'm becoming. Whoa, I'm making decisions. I'm like,
it's like therapeutic. It sounds
100%. It's the most fun therapy because I love dancing. All I want to do is dance. So it's dancing in safety, developing myself, and in community. Like I was saying, the intergenerational aspect, like I see my elders, I see the same man I saw 15 years ago today, and he's still in it, still growing, still giving me the hug, still talking to me, still
How does he seem years later after? Is he like...
He seems the same, to be honest. He just seems, you know, like really freaking similar.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's like time never...
It's just, he was already fixed or whatever.
Well, no, I don't know him. I don't know him. He's a facilitator. You don't know his details.
Oh, so you're just there and he's just facilitating.
He's just DJing and, you know, leading the space with some suggestions, some invitations to pair up, exercise, share, little things that he reads in the room, suggests. And he's also co-facilitating with someone else called Alex, who I met recently, who's an incredible woman who's just been teaching for 31 years in Manchester, week in, week out. She teaches
5 Rhythms. So how long has it been since it was invented?
Well, Gabrielle Roth died just over 10 years ago. And she had been doing it for, I don't know, probably at least 40 years. So I'd say maybe the 70s.
And what country was she from?
America.
Oh, so it was started in the US.
She's a kind of a New York shaman, but she also was in Salem, you know, that community in California. That's where she had a lot of her formation. This is why I wanted to bring on Manuela, my friend, because she knows more about the history of this. I've only just started reading the books. So I was really in the movement of it for the first, I don't know, up until now. Let's call it 15 years. Like I've just started reading.
So you were going as a...
To experience.
Client or whatever you call it, as a participant rather than and now then you moved on, graduated to actually wanting to learn to be a facilitator yourself. And that's is this like facilitator training in it, or?
This is not yet training. This is prerequisite hours to then train.
Wow, so it's quite an involved process.
Yeah, they take it very seriously, which is also very cool, because you know that if you go to something, you're going to experience something that's, at least in my experience so far, it's relatively or very well held. Right. So there's a degree of safety, there's a degree of care and consideration, commitment. Yeah. It's really, I don't want to cuss ecstatic dance, but I used to facilitate ecstatic dance. Yeah. And it was a very loose affair. And I know that if and when I become...
But does that not have any value still? Ecstatic dance versus like going to a club, normal nightclub where it's all like drunken, pretentious and predatory kind of. It's like instead, at least it sets some rules to facilitate and encourage people to, be able to dance sober. Just that for a start.
That is already a huge step. Yeah. It doesn't stop it from being necessarily predatory, but it does stop it from being...
But don't they also have some rules of like no approaching and no staring, no spectating?
I think this depends on the facilitator.
Sure, because the ecstatic dance ones that I went to were like that. So, which I really like. It was like, if you're in the room, you have to dance. If you want to stop dancing, go outside, take a break. If you're in the room, well, there was no alcohol. Obviously. And there's no like approaching people.
Interesting.
Unless it's like, unless it was like obviously a consensual thing.
Yes.
And no staring or standing on the side and watching people dance. Like, if you're there, you dance as well kind of thing. Which was a good rule because people were going absolutely mentally dancing, like more so than they would do in a normal club or rave or festival. Yes. Because it was like the rule to dance. And then you see everyone just going nuts. Like, okay, I'll go nuts as well then. Then it's just like, and it is like a real kind of release, and you just like really go for it because no one's looking at you, everyone's doing the same. So it was,
Was that Seth?
I think, there's that. Yeah, I've done some with Seth, and I think maybe in the same church that you're talking about.
Really, in Canterbury.
Is it Canterbury? Oh no, maybe Finsbury.
Maybe it's a different one.
Maybe somewhere else. Yeah, it was also a church. Like we did it in a church hall, and I've done it in a few other places. Yeah, and I've always liked it. And I've done ones like in a day of retreat linked to other things like tapping, shaking, breath work, and then finishing with ecstatic dance. Nice. So that was just like pure release in all kind of different ways.
From what Manuela told me today, ecstatic dance comes from 5 rhythms. 5 rhythms is the mother of open floor, movement medicine, ecstatic dance, and a lot of other therapeutic movement practices. So that to me was like, whoa. Because I thought that, but then just to hear it from, and hopefully she can come on and talk, about more of the history, or I'm going to educate myself and I'll be back and we can talk more. I can elucidate more on it. But
well, even better, just let's go to an event. I mean, I'd love to experience it like firsthand. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you could come to one of mine.
Yeah. When are you planning?
Well, if I start the training in February, I think I might be able to be like a space holder, which means you can play set playlists of the 5 rhythms, like internal, like holding of their internal bank of like playlists of tunes, like that go through a 2-hour wave. But you
so you've got a whole like bunch of playlists that all go through that.
This is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
And then once you finish the training, then you can like create your own, and you can also use live musicians, and there's a lot of people do it just with live musicians, which I want to.
Yeah, that's got such a different feel, and it's live percussion
and the cowbells and all that fun. But if that so happens that I'm a space holder by February, next summer, I'm going to facilitate a retreat swimming with dolphins, dancing and swimming with dolphins in the Bahamas.
Is that related to 5 rhythms?
Yes.
So they do that as well? Or
I'll be doing that.
Right.
Someone's actually done that already from the community, a woman called Josie Horan, who actually did do that in this same center called in Bimini. It's an island of the Bahamas near Miami. And it's an Osho center that's been running since the 90s, and it's called Wild Quest. And they have an amazing crew of people that run it. I haven't met them yet, but you can just feel the energy, like talking to them, seeing them on the website, their photographs. Just look like wicked people.
Right.
And they've got a vibe. So I said, oh man, look, can I come work with you guys next summer? And then I said, can I facilitate a retreat with you guys? And they said, for sure. Like, come and meet us this summer. We'll catch a vibe. And then next year we'll be ready for facilitating. So I think we'll probably dance in the morning, jump on the catamaran, go find the dolphins, go for a swim and a dance with them, dance with each other underwater, go back, have another dance and eat.
Can you get tunes underwater a bit, or it's just?
I looked into it, and they do headsets, but if you dive, they cut out. It's not Bluetooth. It's radio frequency, so it works better than Bluetooth but you can swim on the surface for sure, and up to 2 meters. But with my intention, it's I also want to like free dive and take people, either myself or maybe work with a co-facilitator who's a licensed free diver.
Underwater boogie with dolphins sounds like that's next level.
They're super playful. I was swimming with them in Egypt, and I'll go back this Christmas, but not as a 5 rhythms facilitator, just as more of like a facilitator of experience. I'll go back probably this Christmas and co-facilitate with some friends in
just
Egypt.
to swim with dolphins, or
It's probably down the Nile and down all the temples, because that's what my friend Tatiana took Olivia and I on that tour last Christmas, and it was like amazing. It was amazing. And at the end of it, I saw this guy swimming like this, like underneath a pod of dolphins, like shot from above, and I was like, that is, and I've told you before, like I have a bit of a life quest of wanting to swim with dolphins, inner child desire that I reconnected with during the healing work with Alberto. My inner child was like, you need to go swimming with dolphins in Wales. This is not like this is what I need, that part of me. So I was like, okay, I'm on a mission. I went to Brazil, to Fernando de Noronha. On the way there, discovered that it's illegal to swim with the dolphins now, but we were kayaking with them the whole time. It was so much fun, so beautiful.
And they were like coming next to you?
Oh, like literally like welcoming us every day. Even the guide said like, this doesn't always happen. The usual spectacular synchronicities that kind of lead you to follow a path.
Right.
And whilst a few weeks later at Christmas, with Tatiana on her retreat through Egypt, saw this guy on Instagram, and it was in Marsa Alam, which is just on the Red Sea. Jumped in a taxi, 5 hours later, I'm down there getting on a boat with Olivia 2 hours further south, and there's just like endless dolphins just wanting to play.
Right.
Like crazy stuff, like really playful, genuinely like separating from the pod, wild dolphins, their choice, coming to us.
You're talking like hundreds?
In October, apparently there can be up to 500 dolphins there. They're there year round. When I was there was probably around between 50 to 100.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were just like...
And they like to interact with humans.
Because they're so fast, they can just skedaddle if they don't want to interact with you. And there was only 2 boats, because we were there in January. There's nobody, literally nobody. There was like 20 of us. So like, we're a drop in the ocean. They could do whatever they want. And they came over, especially to this elder lady who was floating on the water, and they were all coming to her. And she was like, so there's definitely a kinship between our clans. And it's a beautiful thing to experience. It's life-changing. And I always wanted to experience. And now that I've experienced that, I want to open it up to more people to have that experience.
Wow.
Whilst not forgoing the fun of dancing with each other.
Right.
Because we're also an amazing species that love each other very much.
So are you trying to, was there dancing with them happening?
100%.
Right.
100%.
And they were dancing back?
100%.
Right.
Super fun. And the same one, I recognized, like the same one with the same markings would go away and then come back. And it was like a friendship. It was like, I know you, you know me. This is what we do. And like,
this is how we go.
They open their chest, they do flips, and you do, depending on your capacity to hold your breath, you can do whatever you want. Like you can just fly with them.
All right. That's pretty cool.
At least that's.
And you got some videos of that, don't you, as well? Yeah. You can put it up after.
Yeah.
Cool. So dancing with dolphins. Now you're going back to continue more facilitating training.
Yeah.
With a view to eventually just be full-time facilitating, or like kind of retreat, like see how you get on, do some retreats, different places, bounce around.
The truth of my life is that I discover it as I'm going.
Right.
So I could tell you a big 5-year plan, and then we would laugh about it in 5 years.
Right.
At the moment, I'm being led by the experiences that I love the most in life, and opening those experiences up to other people, and sharing my love of dance, my love of the underwater world, but also the world above the water, beautiful places in nature. maybe even sledding with dogs in Finland. You know, I went to see the Northern Lights. The sledding with the dogs was one of the most impactful experiences of my life. So just things that have touched my heart. I'm like, I've had so much privilege to be able to experience certain things on this planet. Okay, let's see if, you know, I can bring the dance, all the best things that I've learned about how to love each other, how to love ourselves, how to express ourselves, how to express boundaries, how to grow, how to create, how to have confidence, how to move forward in every aspect of our life. Create an environment where that is something that's fostered, discussed, dialogued, you know, all the meals between all the dances and the experiences as well. There's so much richness between community, just loving each other and supporting each other, creating those kind of atmospheres where we see each other and we heal each other by our presence.
Wow. Sounds like a very loving community. Yeah, the people that are attracted to it probably attracts people that... Yeah.
I must say, Five Rhythms is an amazing community. You know, I have not been a facilitator yet, but I've been in many retreat experiences which are facilitated.
Sure.
And it's usually 20 to 80 people, actually. Sometimes it's like an 80 people group. It's maybe the biggest group I've been in, close to 90, 20 to 90. And every single time I'm shocked by the generosity of the people that I'm with, the respect, the reverence that people have for the practice. And it's very grounded. It's a very grounded community, as well as being like a spiritual community, in inverted commas, I suppose, like a community that's interested in personal development and bettering oneself, becoming more self-aware and putting that into practice. That as a through
and
line.
doing it in such a fun way as well, like a kind of fun, physical, playful, like half acting, half dancing, kind of like...
Yes, there's a lot of innocence, there's a lot of purity, there's a lot of beauty. Of course, the shadow is always there, but it's very like discussed, acknowledged, brought in. You know, it's not like... Hug
the shadow.
Yeah, it's all of the good stuff and all of the exercises that go with it, and the people that hold the space, you know, they've generally been doing it for the teachers I've been working with, generally 20 years plus. So there's just a really strong container in which a lot of things can be expressed and transformed, and trust can be built. Amazing.
So do you see some big breakthroughs happening during, like,
every day,
cathartic situations and
every day?
Nice.
Yeah, very much so. Every day. It's beautiful. It's literally like, it's play, but it's fun, but it's also constructive.
It's got a direction,
It's sustainable. It's a sustainable practice of fun. You know,
and it's exercise.
And it's exercise.
And it probably gives you, it gives you endorphins, and you're listening to music, which gives you endorphins. You're bonding oxytocin with people,
Yeah, we've bonded over dancing ourselves, and that was the biggest journey of our lives, is dancing together, I would say. One of the biggest aspects of our relationship.
It's true. It's been a while. You need to get out there.
You know, we get older, and you know, I don't want to be out past midnight. I don't want to be in a place with alcohol.
Yeah, same.
Those two things, and then this beautiful sort of 50-year culture that's wrapped around it, and the knowledge and wisdom that Gabrielle laid within her maps and her incredible writing. I started to read her books. It's just literally like, whoa, this is way more than I expected. Like, I'm also getting deeper and deeper into it, and the more I go into it, the more respect I have for it, and the more I see it's not coincidental that this lineage is so strong decades later, intergenerationally.
Right. And it sounds like you're going to take it something further as well, if you're going to go to bring dolphins into it. You can always evolve. You can evolve. You're allowed to evolve it. Or
you are completely allowed to evolve it. And every single one of these maps is taught differently by different teachers. That's what's so wonderful about it. It's mysterious. It's not institutionalized.
It's a bit flexible. It's
super
a bit open.
Flexible. It's a reflection of your soul. It's in its purest, most authentic form. It's a reflection of the facilitator's life experience. Like, I just came from Ibiza with Guillaume Laplan, a wonderful teacher. His first experience ever in Ibiza, when he was more than 20 years ago, was camping at a beach called Aguas Blancas. And he's like a solo traveler, like camps on his own, sleeps under the stars, like takes in nature, like he's like a very mystical creature. And then, you know, however many years later, I don't know when the first time he led a group there, but he was personally touched by that space, had an amazing experience of his own there, and then opens up the facilitation of nature exploration and dance with, you know, 20 people that I was there last week with him at Aguas Blancas. Like 20 years later, his first time of being there, and he's still like you know, blindfolding us, giving us a partner who's like our guardian angel, and saying, okay, go and explore, like be in the space, have as much, you know, of an experience as you want to have. So I was in the water, like swimming out as far as I could.
Still being blindfolded?
Totally blindfolded, totally dark, and just loving my...
There was no fear in the sea of like not seeing? Or?
Not for me, because I love the sea. I felt more comfortable at sea than on land. That was also what I could discover about that experience. I never wanted to go back. It's just no gravity.
Just like, why would float around?
And swim, and I was spinning and spinning this and spinning that way. And an interesting... Do we have time?
Yeah, I think we're okay. How are we?
120.
120 minutes? 1 hour 20? We've been going? Oh my God, okay. Okay.
Yeah, last story?
Yeah, last story. Can I say
wrapping? Start
wrapping. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm swimming out as far as I can.
Yeah.
And I'm now like up to here when I'm standing, and I'm conscious that I'm taller than my guardian angel. So I'm like, you know, the person who's been assigned to make sure that I don't smash into a wall.
So while you're just frolicking, blindfolded in the sea.
In the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big
and the sea's
sea.
quite calm?
Yeah, relatively calm. And I thought, well, and I wanted to swim out further. I wanted to just go. But I was like, if I just go, I'm going to maybe inconvenience the person who's like been assigned to looking after me, because they probably are like already above their head.
They're going to
have to like swim after me.
Their feet won't be on the ground
Their feet
anymore.
won't be on the ground.
Yeah.
And, you know, the command that we'd given each other, of like, you know, the safe word was like, you know, Christian, attention. It was French. And so I was like, okay, I don't really want to hear like Christian, attention. Like I want to just... So I stayed there and I played in the depth of water that what I thought was not going to inconvenience. Going back and then sharing in the group afterwards, because 20 people have all had an experience with someone, you know,
frolicking
some
off
blindfold,
somewhere.
45 minutes blindfolded, go.
Wow.
And then you swap the blindfold, 45 minutes, go. Super fun, like crazy fun.
Yeah.
And knowing you're safe, knowing you're held by someone looking out for you and, you know, guiding you in case you're
And you're just feeling sand and water and
everything. And you don't, it completely changes your perception of so many things. Like when I took the blindfold off, I realized after a while, I'm a bit cold. When I had the blindfold on, I was in the water for 45 minutes, didn't think about the cold once. Because there's certain expectations that are created just by seeing. Just by
looking.
That when you shut that sense off, like there's a whole other bunch of stuff that takes over that has a bigger priority, and the temperature wasn't one of them.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
But sharing in the group, I realized, I was like, because when we came back to the group, you chat a little bit with your partner as well. How was the experience before you swap the blindfolds? And I told her, I said, you know, it's funny, I kind of limited my expression because I was afraid of inconveniencing you. And she goes, oh no, I love the water, I'm a great swimmer, like you could have gone, no problem, I would have followed you anywhere. I was like,
oh really? I was restricting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then when I got in the group and it was time to share in the group, I don't often speak, but I felt like, I actually have something to contribute here, because I realized something about myself. That I like self-censor my experience based on a projection of what someone else's experience is going to be like, when I don't know that for a fact. Like, this person was put there just to let me know whether I'm going to hurt myself or not. I didn't take full advantage of that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bit of it's a warning sign. It's like I'm not necessarily relating to life completely correctly in retrospect. In retrospect, I can take more space. I can explore my boundaries more. Like I can take that space and that freedom and enjoy it more than I had. And I said, it's funny because in life, I realize I'm struggling a bit with where my pleasure ends and someone else's begins, and where mine begins and someone else's ends.
Right.
And I realized that I could probably be a bit more selfish or a bit more explorative.
Without worrying the effect on someone.
Yes. And it gave me a little clue. These are just subtle things. Doesn't mean, you know, it could mean it massively changes my life. It could mean that with my retreats, I decide to, you know, do something more expansive than what I thought I had permission to do relative to my parents' ideas of me, my partner's idea of what I'm doing, society's concepts of me, my concept of myself relative to
expectations.
Exactly. It just gave me a little bit of a clue of like, Christian, you know, you think you're you may think something of yourself, but there's still something that's self-censoring, which is a real gift.
Yeah, so
within all of the fun.
Let yourself go more, yeah.
Let yourself go. For me, yeah, that was a lesson. It was like, oh, I've got more room.
Okay, great, I love that. Well, bro, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All these beautiful stories and being so vulnerable as well. Thank you, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I hope I can join you on a Fives Rhythms adventure at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
With or without dolphins, you know?
Yeah.
And
maybe tomorrow.
yeah, I look forward to catching up on your future adventures as well.
Yeah, man, I look forward to it all. I know we'll share it all, as we always have.
Thanks for today, man.
Yeah.